Hello and welcome back to ME Law's YouTube channel. I'm your host and founder of ME Law, your go-to source for valuable insights on legal matters. Today we have our first guests. We have Zael Miransky and Nathan Clarke from MCO Wealth Management. You guys are excited for this or what?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I decided to bring you guys as my first guest on this YouTube channel because you guys get it. You guys are doing, your things to set you guys apart. Follow you on LinkedIn, and you produce great content. You guys are young. You set yourselves apart from the competitors. You really educate people on what's going on in the financial world, but you do it in a way that's in layman's terms. You do it in a way where people can understand. And you really educate people on financial planning, estate planning, wealth management, and why those big guys, not going to name any names, but why those big guys charge enormous amount of fees and just, which doesn't equate to quality work. And to me, that's really important. And I think in my industry, quality work is important because if you miss something as a lawyer, it can make or break your client's case. Because the reality is people built this notion that the bigger is better. Bigger investment companies are better. Bigger estate planning companies are better. Bigger law firms are better. But really, they miss the point, right? They miss that experience, that client, that the actual issue, right? So I'm not saying that I have a problem with any of these big guys. I'm not saying that I have a problem with growth and making ME Law like one of these 7 sister firms. But I think that at the end of the day, you have to go to what's in your roots. And I don't think you guys are expanding too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? You just hired somebody.
Hired a few people.
Yeah. Right? Guy that's out in Quebec.
Quebec advisor, British Columbia advisor. I think as terms of access to information, a lot of people want somebody who's a little bit closer to home. As much as I know that you want to expand in the near future as well out west, we think that having a presence across the entire country, for lack of a better term, is important for most people to know that there's somebody that they can reach out to get some personal information and a personal touch. But as well, we operate very well remotely, as I know you do as well. And I think all Canadians are starting to realize the industry and the landscape is changing. There are a lot of opportunities that come with working with more boutique style, both law firms and asset management, which we do a lot of work ourselves with.
Okay, that's great. And I saw that I didn't really get to explore your new hire, but he does some content too. He produces content.
Absolutely. Carlo is his name. Shout out to Carlo. He is a fantastic content creator. Part of the reason we brought him into the firm is to be able to expand our offering. He is the right type of very savvy investor, but very creative mind. And for us, when you bring the two together, you get another level of sophistication, but simplicity that I think a lot of people are looking for.
That's great. That's great. And I think that that's really important. I don't think you can no longer just be a professional within your industry. You have to have the ability to educate other people because it's those people that will turn to you when they seek something.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think and I think that for me it's all about a mission statement, right? So we've developed a mission statement where we have, the competency, professionalism, and all that, and it's the center of everything we do. And I think that when I see you guys get out there, comment on things, on LinkedIn, and educate people, you have your own kind of mission statement, and I see within your stuff that you put out there. So can you tell us a little bit about what your actual mission statement is, if you have it?
Yeah, so it's centered around 3 main principles. The first one being education. I think that's, Canadians want to be educated. We don't get any type of financial or legal education for that matter, through secondary or even university educations unless you're specifically studying that area. And so we help educate people so that we can empower them to make the best decisions for themselves. There's going to be a lot of cases where we don't know their experiences with money, and that can affect their decision, because what we have found is that 90% of the decisions being made, even though they're financially and numbers related, is emotionally based. And only 10% or 20% of that is the actual logic and numbers themselves. The second part is transparency. So I think this is a big thing as well. We see it all the time in the news where big firms are getting sued because they weren't transparent with fees or other areas of their business. And we want to make sure that our clients are always understanding what we're doing and, most importantly, why we're doing it. And then third is accountability. And not only accountability in the sense of where, we're accountable to our clients, but where our clients are accountable to us as well. Our clients have goals. They tell us certain things that they want to do, they want to achieve, and then we give them a blueprint to do that, and we want to hold them to that, right? Because we do want to see them succeed in the end, and part of that is making sure that we hold them accountable to themselves as well. And so those are the three biggest principles that kind of we're focused on and we've built our practice on over the years.
And I think those are great because I kind of see a parallel, because that's how I kind of see it too in my service profession. I think that a lot of people, the big competitors, they lose that actual roots of that, which is like, you need to be accountable to your clients, right? You need to tell your clients what you're charging them. Your clients you need to be transparent in that. Like, for every step, it's going to cost you X, Y, Z. And I think that, a lot of people, and speaking to members of the public, a lot of them will tell me that, XYZ firm charged me for something I didn't know they were going to do. They put it to somebody else because that other person in that firm has to bill. And it was like $700 for something so simple without even getting my instructions. So I see that. That's it tends to be an issue with a lot of people across the board. And I think that this is why more people are gravitating towards those smaller, more intimate, more approachable service professionals versus go to a big firm or big, even like, advisors. They get paid commission, for example, right? Investment advisors. So losing that actual like personable thing just to get money, right? And I think that happens. Yeah. Okay, so Zael and Nathan, when did you? I just want to direct this to you, Zael, first. I met you in 2016.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
A while ago, I was practicing criminal law.
Yeah.
And I was kind of freshy, I would say. I had some debt and I was paying it off, and I came to you. But from 2016, 2023, we didn't really connect. So we didn't really, unless we did, but I was more focused maybe on just like being a lawyer and growing as a lawyer, a professional. So what made you get into this area? Was it pre-2016? I think you've been in it for a while.
Yeah, a long time. 2009 is when I started in financial services. It goes back to family. I had a father who was in the industry who showed me a fantastic lifestyle of being able to actually be a combination of a service professional, but as well be able to take care of family. And for myself, it is very important that I be able to, and it is Family Day in Ontario, so I think it is very important that everybody and every professional does understand you can have some sort of balance. So being a fantastic lawyer, being a fantastic financial services professional, a CFP by designation, allows me to build my own schedule. And when I saw my career evolving and ensuring that I saw growth, I wanted to make sure that while I could be there for clients, I could also be there for family. And this is the type of industry that allows both a financial planner and a human being to really be there for both aspects of your clients and your family at the same time. So 15 years later, Nathan and I run a practice with 7 other advisors at this point. It is constantly growing. I think every advisor across the country needs a place to call home that isn't giving you corporate mandates and making you more of a franchise advisor. And we want people to be able to do what they want when they want without corporate quotas, without billable hours coming down from the top or the partners. And simplicity is you don't have to be the biggest advisor. You don't have to be the smallest advisor. You just have to be the happiest advisor you can be, and I think that's very important for us.
That's great. That's great. So was it always was it always MCO Wealth?
Yeah. When we founded our own company, Nathan and ourselves, we had the idea, Miransky, Clarke, others, that is where the MCOs came from. It's evolved a little bit as new advisors have come in. We've toyed with the name, Money Corporation, Magnificent Corporation, but letters are just an acronym. They can stand for whatever you want them to stand for, and people can embody whatever they want those acronyms to stand for. So I know in your case, ME can be a combination of things, but both, the beauty of the client being me and you as well being the me.
Yeah, I actually didn't know it actually stood for both your last names.
Yeah.
That's great. Like I think the main thing is branding. Like you come down to it. Like I've listened to a couple podcasts over the couple years, and one of them said that like if you put your name in a brand, like you put, let's say, Elajami Law, it's gonna be difficult for you to actually grow because then everyone expects Elajami like to be the person that you deal with. When you can't really, you can't really put it to somebody. It's like entire organization, right? And
everybody is me.
Yeah, exactly.
And me is everybody.
Yeah. So so you guys probably then have like proper corporate governance in place because
Of course.
a lot of people corporations don't have proper corporate governance, whether they're small scale or large. They tend to run into legal disputes, as into how do you handle disputes between owners, right?
Yeah.
So like it's really important that corporate governance, and I think you guys were good on that. So did you guys learn from trial and error at all? Like was there moments where you had done something and it didn't work out, and then learned that I'm not going to do this going forward because I've tried it, or learned to streamline it a certain way?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was trial and error. There were definitely a lot of things, something that they don't really tell you whenever you start, your own firm, whether it be legal or financial, is that you have to have a business owner hat first, and then you kind of focus on what you studied. And so a lot of it was that trial and error, learning to be a good business owner. But since moving as well, we've had a lot of conversations with other professionals in the industry, and we got to be able to have honest conversations with them and learn from them and their mistakes as well. So I think both of those two components have created a very efficient practice for us now, and we're very blessed with like all the information that we were able to get from colleagues in the industry.
That's great. I'm actually quite a little bit opposite. Like I feel like when someone asks me, like, can I sit and pick your brain about how you started your business? Like, what did you do? I always say, like, listen, I could tell you so much, but really it depends on what vision you want, how you want to do it, what you want to build. And I think that it's not going to be the same experience, because I could have, based on my experience, I could have done, like, it could have been difficult for me on something, but based on them, that could be something that they need, right? So they might need that thing that I thought was difficult. So sometimes I always tell people, like, listen, I can tell you so much, but really it has to be personalized. Like, if you have to be able to experience something, know how it feels, and go from there, right? So that's how I kind of see it. And I often get asked to talk to, like, new lawyers or people starting their business, or even into their business, as to, like, what worked for me, what didn't work. And I would say, like, listen, this didn't work for me, but you could try it. Maybe it's something you need in your practice. So as you guys are aware, we're a litigation firm. Yeah. So we offer services in litigation. You guys have a lot of connections in solicitors, because a lot of the stuff you guys do, solicitors require that information to plan. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So tell me, like, what is it, information do you give solicitors, and that they ask you in terms of, let's say, estate planning, for example? Like, what is it that you would give a solicitor if you're planning someone's estate?
So I think it's very important to understand that we have three main types of lawyers that we refer business to and who refer business back to ourselves. Estate planners, obviously, for anything from a complex corporate will to a very basic, simple will. Real estate lawyers, particular importance as many of our clients are always going through the transition of buying and selling real estate. And unfortunately, but fortunately, we do refer to the occasional litigator. There is no perfect business or no perfect human. And when you're dealing with business and humans, you do find disputes arise. So we try and ensure that our clients, from a top-down approach, when dealing with corporate structure, can avoid future litigation. But if you refer business to a specific lawyer who hasn't asked the right questions from the beginning, you might find a business has evolved in 10 or so years, and a partner or an individual has passed away. And when that happens, we have seen family members step into roles that they aren't capable of stepping into. We have seen business disputes where people have not valued their corporations properly. And individuals have very different ideas as to how much they are worth. So we make sure our clients have very clean shareholder agreements, how the families will be interacting, and a lot of times there is insurance litigation work done as well. So those three lawyers really will round out our practice, and hopefully it doesn't get to the point where somebody is in trial, but that is also why we have trusted partnerships with you. And make sure that we can avoid that as best as possible, but we don't want to avoid it too much because we still need to help you grow your law firm.
No, but you know what? I actually think this is great because I deal with a lot of complex real estate, corporate commercial litigation. And I'm talking about like old Canada generational wealth,
Yeah.
right? Who they've owned businesses, they have shareholder agreements in terms of some will have like agreements from the 80s where if they die, they have percentage as to how their shares are calculated, right? But it is it is issues that arise, right? And if there isn't proper planning, pipeline planning, or like what do you want to do, wind up, like there isn't that proper stuff. I think that you do get stuck in this situation where you're going into litigation and you're going to blame your advisors, right? So I think that I usually, when I do experience these things as a litigator, I do, sit with, people I know as advisors, and I tell them, like, listen, based on the experience that I just had representing someone where we sued X, Y, Z, this is where you need to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Because I think that some advisors miss those steps.
I think they miss the review.
Yeah.
And that is a huge part of the problem.
Yeah.
Working with you as well, you're not just going to start a case and take it to trial and not speak to somebody and review in between. It's also why I know you do a fantastic job for your clients, is keeping them a part of the process and making sure they understand those steps is crucial to not making mistakes.
Sounds good. That's correct. So, you guys, thanks for coming to the show.
Our pleasure.
Yeah,
my first guest. I think we did well. Tell our audience where they can find you, how they can look you guys up, connect with you.
Tell them anything.
We're both on LinkedIn. Zael probably posts a lot more than I do, but you can also find us through MCOWealth.com or Google MCO Wealth, and we'll be the first link there. And those are the two best places to find us. Or we'll do another video with May here.
Yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put your information in our text section, so people can locate you. Last words, Zael?
Thank you.
I think
it's a great opportunity just to share mutual business practices and keep the people that you like working with close to you and hold those people as well accountable. When you lose sight of who you're working with or their approaches, you often have lost a relationship. So we value the relationship we have with you, and thank you very much.
So do I. It's great having you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.